skills, and then sight word, not quite there yet. So as a teacher at that moment, it's really hard to lead them to become a fluent reader. So today, I think we are going to look into those especially those age group and then those level, and then as a teacher, how can we approach so they can develop those proper reading skill. Are you guys ready? Let's get going. Okay, today's agenda is, as I mentioned, after phonics, as a teacher, sometimes you feel lost, right? So we are going to discuss a bit about that dilemma that we might have as a teacher. After that, we're going to discuss a bit about reading fluencies and then phonics reading fluencies. After that, we're going to look into sample activities that accommodate those levels and wrap up. You're free to go to have dinner. Okay, let's get going. So after phonics, as I mentioned, well, nowadays, worldwide kind of English education trend, we start our English education with a phonics approach. So you drill them with those at to bed kind of elements, and then they have a bit of decoding practice and then decoding capacity, I would say. But after that, yes, it seems like they're ready to have some text to read, right? But once you bring out some really nice picture book, and then if you want them to read, even though that's the same word that you taught them but at to bed, they have a little hard time to recognize the word within the text, right? So you have to think about those nice bridge for them to link those their phonics like knowledges and then ready to jump into those like reading kind of exercise. So for you to read them on that like link in a smooth way, you have to be aware of these reading level for your students. Immersion level is, as you know, the phonics level. So they are like a sponge. They listen to the sound and then they recognize the sound and then they match that with the letter and then they combine together and then they try to pattern those words or sentences that they hear. And then this only stages they learn to read. So they read a lot with those patterned sentences and then simple sentence patterns within the text, and then they're gaining some confidence, and then also they gain some sight word. So once they feel comfortable with this early like stage, they can jump into this fluent stage where they can move to read to learn. So with this like level, I think you can combine lots of great like content area reading and also like meaningful exercise with your students so they can go to this advanced level without having any difficulties. But the thing is, this level is very important. Move from learn to read and then read to learn. So as a teacher, if you want them to, if you want to push them from only reading level to fluent reading level, you have to think about lots of methodologies and then proper teaching like approaches, I would say. So let's get going. So if you think about those like sight word, phonics word reinforcement, then they're learning to read, right? So through this exercise, after that, they're gonna practice more with this parent practice and with familiar topic. In this familiar topic means, even though they are minis and then they are very like, how can I say that? It's hard to observe like in-depth topic, but the thing is with these familiar topics around them, they can observe some contents words. So later they can utilize those contents words to kind of develop them to a reader who can do the read to learn kind of stages. So here, learn to read, getting familiar with reading, and then getting confidence to dig the meaning. These are the keys. So with this learn to read section, you need to think about, yes, they have a little bit of phonics knowledges, but at the same time, you need to add some sight words so they're not gonna freaked out when they see those sight words in the reading sentences. And at the same time, this parent with lots of parent sentences, they can practice those decoding exercise. And a little bit of this familiar topic provided them a contents word so they can use that later on. So those are really important. And then after they have this like proper practice, they can have this smooth transition to read to learn areas. So let's get going. So when you teach, when we talk about like reading fluencies after phonics, these are like three important areas in phonics reading fluencies. First, I stressed out several times, sight words, right? Even though they learned those phonics like rules, they practiced a lot through kindergarten through grade one. But once they have this sight word, what is this, right? And easily they can lose their confidence. So you don't want that happen. So sight word reinforcement is very important. And also these parent sentences. Well, some teachers mention that, yes, we need to teach them a little bit of sentence structure, right? Which is grammar, but there's no way that they could understand those sentence structure, which is from different from Korean or different from Espanol. So once you start to kind of explain that, you're gonna lose them all. So parent sentence means they're gonna look at the sentence as it is and the meaning as it is. With those like practice, it's gonna come out in their speaking and then writing without having any too much hesitation or too much like translation going on in their head. So with this reading fluency after phonics kind of approach, you need to think about those parent sentences practice a lot. And with this parent sentence practice, they can have those decoding practice as well. So with this age group, yes, you want them to check some comprehension. For example, within those parent sentence, you're gonna plug in some of, excuse me, some of those contents words with it. With those contents word, you want them to understand the meaning of it. Those gonna be their contents cover in this age group. But at the same time, when they practice that a lot, oh, they have the confidence to have this decoding practice. So once they have decoding, they're gonna link that to encoding exercise later on when they actually read to learn. Okay, let's get going. And after that, after they have this smooth transition, now we have to think about this reading fluencies. So with this reading fluency level for read to learn, accuracy, rate, and okay, let me see. Okay. Oops, sorry. Expression, punctuation, these are all very important. Accuracy, if you think about the words made in English, I observe many of Spanish speakers when they do not have those like magic E kind of concept. Some of my students always said that word as a mate, right? So mate is totally different from made. So if they see the word made within the sentence, they need to read it as a made to understand the meaning fully. So that's a very important aspect. And then rate is important too. Not too fast, not too slow. Well, when our students are older, yes, you see them mumbling a lot because they read too fast. But if not too rate means, or not too slow means, if they're not confident enough to say a sentence, they're gonna say like, I might book report. If they say the sentence like that, well, there's a lot of mistakes within, and also they focus too much on those decoding like area, so it's the meaning is gonna go somewhere. So if they don't get the meaning, yes, it's gonna affect the reading fluencies. So it's very important. I don't want to say that rate is same as fluency, but rate is one of very important factor within the reading fluencies. And expression, yes, feelings. You need to put some feelings. I don't think Espanol like speaking students are gonna have this problem. So, but if I see many of Asian students, they sound like a robot sometimes. So, wow, that's very great, right? It doesn't sound like that's very great, right? So it's very important for them to get the nuance out of the sentence. And punctuation, yes, important. When you have a question mark at the end, it's totally different from exclamation mark at the end, right? So fluent reader need to see those elements and then think about how can they read the sentence. So that's going to affect the reading fluencies too. So those are the four elements when we talk about this reading fluency. Is that clear? Good? Okay, let's get going. You can always have a Q&A session at the end. Okay, and now they're ready to become a fluent reader. So their decoding is quite nice. You want them to have the contents within the text and understand the text fully. So it's really okay. Okay, I can explain. Someone mentioned that about the punctuation once. As I mentioned, well, at the end of the sentence, it could have those question mark or exclamation mark, right? Question mark sentence, it's totally different. They're asking a question, right? Exclamation mark is like, wow, about the feeling or surprise or like joy. So they need to get that with those punctuation mark. So along with that, they can read the sentence differently. So we perceive those punctuation as one of the really important factor of those, one of the reading fluencies factors. Clear, Maria? Okay, now we're gonna go to this thematic curriculum integration. Well, now their decoding is okay, and then you wanna push them to a fluent reader level. For you to be able to do that, you need to think about the contents that you are deliver, and also the activities that you are doing with your students. For example, even though, oh, sorry, even though they're minis, still, you can think about those thematic curriculum integration. Some of you might be curious, what is thematic curriculum integration? Sounds fancy, but it's too long, right? Too vague. Sometimes we feel that too. And then if you look at this this like graphic organizer over here, it says ice cream, right? It's a one theme, which is very familiar to them. And then under this theme, you're gonna see math, science, social studies, and science again. So when we think about this thematic curriculum integration, we all know CREAL, right? The contents, language, integration, learning. So to become a fluent reader, it's very important that you need to deliver some meaningful contents. That's why many schools around the Central South America, now they're looking for books with subject areas reading, right? So that's very worldwide. So if you look at this like examples over here, yes, it's one theme, ice cream, but they're covering a bit of math, science, and social studies and math again. So before their concept, ice cream, yummy, ice cream truck, or like lollipops, in their head, ice cream is some of the really like limited images that they only experienced in their lives. But if you approach this ice cream with this like reading materials, then they're gonna feel like, oh, even though this ice cream, I can talk about mathematics. Quite interesting, right? I didn't know that making ice cream could be science topic, right? So you're going to expand their like experience and also their concept about this ice cream. So I think that's really like nowadays education trend. So when you look at those reading program, one thing that I can suggest, think about the contents within the book. It doesn't matter with any of publishers in your mind, but some of the English books are really in-depth in contents, but some of the English books are kind of like talk about some like vague things or something really not related to their like academic areas. In that case, you need to put some question marks within those reading program. I think that's really important. And at the end of some of the chapter, something when you do the thematic curriculum integration, one thing that I can suggest is that you have to do some kind of a hands-on activities. Either they can draw a poster or they can do some experiments or they can do some kind of drawing and then like categorizing. So they can expand what they learn throughout those thematic curriculum integration into their daily lives. So it's not gonna be like, oh, living only in the books, but oh, right. For example, if you look at this hands-on activity, it's a shapes as schools. You kind of assume that these students, oh, they learn about the objects around the schools. And then shapes, so they can combine those together. So they can search the object around the classroom and then they can categorizing. So in their head, circle, square, rectangle, triangle, they're gonna stay. So hands-on activity is kind of the key when you're dealing with this thematic curriculum integration. And here, and methodology is very important. I understand that we're still dealing with pre-human beings, right? You cannot have like really like, how can I say that? Like philosophical discussion with those age group. They're pretty simple. But even though they're like pre-human beings and then you have to deal with their tantrums or whatever, still you need to think about the proper methodology when you do the reading classes. If you just want them to read and then solve the problems, it's really hard for them to become a fluent reader. So you, with this methodology, you need to incorporate this inquiry-based learning. So they cannot, they can inquiry their like own learning process, make them stop and then make them be aware where they are, what they're doing, how can they do. Those kind of the little like nudges are very important. And then as a group or peer, problem solving, task-based teaching, and then through this one, you can definitely do this cooperating, critical thinking, cooperative learning, and then one of the way that you can do, you can definitely do the flipped learning. Nowadays, reading program, they have really nice videos authentic videos that matches with the topic, so they can watch, discuss before they get into the reading, like reading texts. Those like methodologies that you cooperate a little by little is very important for them to be aware their reading process and then reading activities and then reading skills that they're going to develop. I hope that you can. Any questions so far? Am I speaking too fast or good? Okay, no answers, always good. So now we're gonna look into one of the examples that you can do with those early readers. So boost your kids' reading confidence, but it's just a starting level. So let's get going. Well, after phonics lesson, you're gonna have this kind of the decodable readers, right? So reading class text is like this. So if you look at that, I can. Oh, this is gonna be the patterned like sentence that they're gonna practice. I can sing, I can dance, I can run, I can jump, I can read, I can write my names, I can do many things. So pattern the sentences and oh, I can, those are gonna be their sight words, right? And then my too. So as a teacher, that's good. But one thing, it's very noticeable within this text, its contents words are gonna be highlighted, right? So many reading programs, they offer like this kind of the distinguished kind of elements. So as a teacher, yes, okay. So now I want them to focus on this like content word. That's very good. Now, before reading, then word study time, right? So I wish that we could be in one classroom, not in this Zoom session, so I can see you guys moving, right? But since we have 100 like the participants in the seminar, I don't think I can ask you to turn the video on, right? It's gonna be too much. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one word by one word. So you can definitely incorporate these kind of activities with the Zoom session with your students. Since you're gonna have maximum like 30 or like 10 something kind of students, you can definitely make them like turn their video on and then see them moving around, right? So are you guys ready? I'm going to show you one content word at a time. So what you're going to do, I know that you're a little ashamed in front of your kids or in front of your dogs, then you can do little like those like mini like motion things as you wish. Are you guys ready? Good. So I will show you one by one. What is this? Jump, right? Okay, good. And this, right? Okay, let's see. Right, good. And sing. Great, everyone. And then last one, read. Amazing. Good job. After that, you can ask a question like, can you sing? Maria Monica, can you sing? They can answer. And Jose, can you dance? And Anna, can you read? You can ask a question so they can answer. So this is a really nice exercise for them to be aware because this is very vivid illustration. So even though that's really like content word, but it's easier for them to observe the meaning, right? So if you look at those early readers reading program, you are gonna see lots of words like this. So as a teacher, you can make them move their body around and then make them be aware about the meaning with the pictures. And then this verbalizing exercise would be a really nice like preparation for them to have those pattern the sentence reading exercise later on. Okay, good everyone. Yeah, everyone says, I can dance. I know, like Latinos, you guys are great at dancing. Okay, good. Now it's sight word time. Something really interesting about kids, they look at this sight word and then they recognize it as a like whole picture, like elephants shaped like, tree shaped like, or like boat shaped like. When you teach them, they are really creative when it comes to kind of matching those like object to those sight words. So you can definitely make them be aware the chunk, like I can run. So those are really nice words for you to like practice. So let's find the same shape of it. So do 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 do. The reason why I do this is it says stick, right? So if you look at the books lately, I will show you later on. Books lately with these early readers, they provide lots of stickers. When you think about stickers, oh, kids are becoming so lazy nowadays. They don't even want to write a sentence or write a word. They only use just sticker. There's a reason why we publishers usually provide the stickers at the end, especially for early learners, because some of them have a problem with these fine motor skills. So it's very challenging for them to write a word or sentence within a time. So you don't want to give them too much stress on them on that area. In that case, you can incorporate those stickers. So they can think as a fun activities, but at the same time, as I mentioned, they approach this like words as a big kind of chunk of the picture. So it helps them to recognize this sight word. And also, as I mentioned, when you teach sight word, for them, it's very important for them to recognize this chunk within a sentence. So they're not gonna hesitate or lose the confidence to say that word, right? So with the sticker, you can make it kind of the fun activities. So you can definitely incorporate those kind of elements within the reading like exercise, before reading exercise. Is that clear? Good? Okay. Now, actual reading time. So if you look at this up here, this example of the book provide read 3 times and stick. This is kind of the key kind of training tips that I always give to the teachers. Read the reading text at least 3 times a day, like 3 times with the one, not a day, I'm so sorry about that, 3 times with the one text. That's very important, because if you just play the audio and then you're looking at your great, like nice nail, like policies, or you're doing something else, then definitely they're not going to listen to the audio, right? So you want them to focus and also recognize the word while they're listening. And then at the same time, with this like audio on, you want them to practice their reading fluencies too, right? With the right speed, accuracies, and then punctuation marks and expressions, right? So in that case, you need to give them some task to focus on. For example, first reading, they can focus on this sing, dance, run, jump, read, write section. So when they read, I can sing, they can do the motions all together. And dance, oh, this is jump, right? Dance, run, jump, and read and write. So these kind of the reading exercise you can do as a whole class activities, and also in this Zoom session too, right? So you can definitely do that for the first reading. And then if your students are very like your students are having a hard time to focus on these punctuation marks, then second reading, I would read them to clap their hands when they see these punctuation marks, right? So I can sing, I can dance, I can run, I can jump, like this. And then now you want them to focus on sight word that they learn. I can. So I can. I can. That kind of thing is very like useful. Or you can make them write down those words, or if you have a stickers, they can place the sticker on their fingers, and I can sing. I can dance. Those kind of the minimal body movement, but at the same time listening and reading kind of exercise, you can definitely get their focus, and then you are gonna read them to those important elements within this simple texts. That's one of the tips that I can give you. So we can practice just one time as a whole group, 100 group that I have. So now what I want you to do, focus on those simple like contents word. So sing, dance, run, jump, read, and write. So while we are listening to audio, you have to repeat and then do the motions all together. Can you guys do that? I know that before you have a dinner, you have a little bit of downtime. So it's a little like wake up, kind of the 5 o'clock-ish kind of exercise. Are you guys ready? So let's listen to the audio.
I can. I can sing. I can dance. I can run. I can jump. I can read. I can write my name. I can do many things.
Good. You guys did a great job, right? Okay. So you can definitely do this kind of the reading exercise with your students. Okay. Now I'm ready with this next slide. If you look at this slide, it says comprehension, right? And then even though it says comprehension session, you would see this contents word, right? So you assume, at this early readers level, yes, they can check their comprehension with these contents words, right? And yes, someone says Mamamoo, right? I'm not sure how many of you are K-pop fans, to be honest, but I think it's really nice, like perk up for you to wake up a bit, to wake up. So first one, who is this? Is there anyone who knows? It's too small, the picture, probably. It's kind of the word famous, BTS. And then second picture, I know one of my friends, our biggest fan used to be, not sure nowadays. This is a Super Junior and Blackpink and Mamamoo. Good. If you're curious, you can Google them. Their name is on the chat, I think already. Good. So now I'm going to cover the picture that they're gonna see. So when they see, and they're gonna look at this word, and choose which one goes with this picture. So cover as you wish. You can definitely do with this actual book with your students, or nowadays reading program, they provide lots of good like the PPTs or any kind of teacher supplement material. You can utilize them. Or if you don't have those fancy elements, I would cover the book as it is and then show them a little by little. So I know that you guys are crazy about Super Junior's BTS. I've been to Central South America, so I know that there's a huge fandoms over there. Good. Now, I'm going to get rid of this BTS picture. Are you guys ready? Good? Okay, let's look at this picture. What is this? Dance or run? Right, dance, right? He seems very happy. So now I can dance, I can run. Which one is right? Right, dance. Good job, everyone. Now I'm going to get rid of the Super Junior picture. Are you guys ready? I know that Yolanda is not ready to get rid of the Super Junior's picture, but let's get going. Right. I can sing. I can read, right? Okay, sing, read, read. Good job. I can read. Good job, everyone. Now, if you look at this Blackpink and the Mamamoo pictures over here, oh, I can blank my name. So you need to choose one of them to go with rest of the sentence. So, whoop, is that right? Or this one, I can write my name. I can jump my name. Right, I can write my name, right? Good job, everyone. You did a great job. So now we're going to go for the next activity. So this could be kind of the wrap-up activities for this level. If you look at them, yes, they're gonna master this I can sentence, parent sentence over here. And you need to think about those like contents word over here. So they're gonna wrap up what they learn over here and draw what you can. This is a little bit of extension. So some of your students might not be able to add some more words, then definitely they can utilize the already given words. And if some of your like teacher's pet or like know it all or kind of students, they want to add some more, then definitely you can add them one or two more words so they can kind of expand what they already have. So this is really nice, proper kind of wrap up exercise for those early level of students, right? Now we are going to go to this building the bridge before fluent readers, but you want them to push, right? So if you look at this, it's similar to what I showed you before. So this is the theme, kind of thematic curriculum integration kind of unit. So school, familiar because they go to school, not nowadays, but they go to school every day. Do you like your school? Probably most of your students are gonna say yes, but few of them say no. But if you look at this one, ready for school, school places, school shapes, school, a school on the water. So social studies with the mathematics. Pretty simple like topics, schools, because it's their daily lives, right? But at the same time, they're thinking about those social studies aspect of it and also mathematics of it. So I think it's a really nice way to integrate their themes with other subject areas. So here, so before they get into actual like reading like text, it's really nice to provide the vivid picture or illustration. There's a reason why many publishers, they start the like word study before you lead them to read the reading passages, right? So if you look at that, oh, backpack, pencil, erasers, notebook, glues, these must be the content words for them to acquire, right? And then, oh, this is a really nice picture of the school bus, right? But this is not the reality in Korea, or I'm not sure about Mexico. But I guess this picture is from the States, right? So now the kids are getting on a bus, right? Yes, I think so, right? And now, after you practice this contents word, which keyword can you find in the picture above? Circle it. It's below, but I just manipulated a bit, but it's in the book, it's originally above. So circle it. Can you find anyone? Can you find any words, any keywords in the picture? No one answers yet. What happened to my Central South American group? Roger, good job. Right, backpack. How many backpacks, oops, can you see over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the band, right? Good job, Lucero, Anna, everybody. So these are kind of the fun activity for you can do with your students with the Zoom session or in the actual classroom too, right? Good. Now, oops. Now it's actual reading passages over here. So Irving is okay. Can you see the PPT or you can? Good. Okay, so I'm gonna get going. So if you have any trouble to see PPT or me, just let me know. Good. Okay, so this is ready for school. So, whoa, compared to previous reading passages, it's a little more complex kind of this text, right? So today is my first day of school. I packed my blank. I have a blank. I have unblank. I have a blank. Where is my blank? Buddy has it. Thank you, buddy. Now I'm ready for school. That's good. So now let's look at this picture over here. I love this vivid illustration. So what is it? Erasure, right? Good job. Now, this kid is packing his backpack with 3 books. Amazing. What is this? Notebook, right? And, pencil. Oh, I think this must be Buddy, right? Buddy has a glue, right? Good job. So now you preview this picture with your students before they get into actual reading. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio. So since I covered the keywords, they need to listen and then discuss that later with me. So are you guys ready to listen to the audio? Good? Okay, let's get going.
Ready for school. Today is my first day of school. I pack my backpack. I have a pencil. I have an eraser. I have a notebook. Where is my glue?
Here.
Buddy has it. Thank you, Buddy. Now I am ready for school.
That's great, right? What was the first one? Backpack. Good job, everyone. Now we have a pencil. Amazing. He's so ready to go to school. I have an eraser. Good job. I have a notebook. Where is my glue? Buddy has it. Thank you, Buddy. Now I'm ready for school. Good job, everyone. So this could be the first reading, right? And then after that, these are sight word that you want them to focus on. So next to reading, while they are reading it, they can circle this word, right? And then if you see this pattern, the sentence, yes, you want them to kind of acquire these sentences so they can use this when they speak and when they write. So once again, read 3 times and sticks. So they're going to have these habits within them when they have a reading text. I understand that when they go older, it's hard for them to read the three times if they have this thick like chapter readers or like some in-depth readers. But with this reading program readers, I really want you to kind of reinforce them to read at least 3 times with focus on the different things. That habit is going to help them a lot when they have deeper, more complex like reading that they have in their like older graders. Okay, good. Now let's get going. Now here, with this level, like right before their fluent like reader stages, it's really important to cooperate all 4 areas when it comes to like language skills. So reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So when you wrap up, after you wrap up this, like all the reading passages, once they have the comprehension checkup, and this is really nice example that you can definitely utilize in your any kind of reading program. So place this picture. So just looking at them and then they're gonna say it. Backpack, right? That case, they get the meanings out of it, right? And write it. So you can check their writing and also spellings too. And read it so they can stick. If you have really like advanced students in your group, then they can definitely write those. And then I packed my backpack and oh, you can write a sentence and also you can read a sentence. So this would be the really nice wrap up. And one thing that you can add, since there's a check mark, right? You can definitely pair them up to check this read sentence. That case, you can definitely check their listening too. So each other, they can read, they can check each other's reading, and then after that they can add how many check marks that they have. I think it's really nice to cooperate with your buddies, and also as a students they can kind of see all those really nice like graphic organizer within them to utilize later on too. So it's a really nice way to organize the new word and then spellings and also the sentences as well. Clear? Okay, get going here. And then this is one of the examples that I showed you before. So shapes at school, now you understand because, well, table, clocks, windows, hula hoops, they cover these words within those 4 like unit like learnings. After that, oh, this is a, it is a, must be the sentence they learned, right? And then circles, squares, rectangles, triangles, contents word that they learned. And then they're going to cut this like little like the words and then send the pictures. And then they're gonna place into each categories. So this is a really nice wrap-up exercise. It combines with the content words and also the mathematics, and then think about these categories and then they're gonna sort out. So this is a really nice wrap-up content exercise for them to kind of be aware what they have throughout those 4 units, and also, wow, this is fun. It's not like something very like thrilling or like repeating what they already have. So it's going to kind of stimulate their like learning confidence, I think. So here, so now it's almost like 7:21 a.m. for me. I think you guys 5:20, right? So it's time to wrap up a bit. So here, right after phonics, this is totally kind of the early age, and then kind of the immersion through the early age. Decoding practice is very important because the more decoding practice, the more confidence that they gain. That's the one thing that for sure. Because once they have those, oh, I read it, even though I don't get the meaning clearly, then I'm able to read. That's gonna boost their confidence a lot. And then sight word reinforcement, parent practice is very important for them to gain some like meanings out of it. And then now, early age, but you want them to be a fluent reader, then reading comprehension is the key. I understand that that's really like minimal like reading like program, so you're not sure what you can focus on when it comes to reading comprehension, then contents words is going to be the key. And then contents reading practice, so they're going to gain some thematic like information or some a little bit of like subject area reading kind of like contents for them. And then project for wrap up, hands-on activities are very key for them. So I hope you can get some like meaningful information out of this session, because I understand that this age group, it's very dragging. Sometimes if you want to focus them to like polish their reading skill, I know that there's a like frustration comes, like definitely that's very natural and then worldwide. And then I use some of the examples from EasyLink Starter and then EasyLink like books. So we developed this book to kind of accommodate that level. So you can definitely check if you want to. And then you can definitely link this to subject link, and then we have insight link too. So lots of link series from Build and Grow if you're familiar with. So definitely you can choose as you wish, and then depends on your needs and then subject areas that you want to cover. And then it's really nice to have you all in this session. And then I'm always amazed that we always have this 100 participants whenever we have a workshop. Thank you a lot. And then if you want to look into our previous workshops or this workshop, then you can definitely check YouTube, that channel that we have, Any Build and Grow. So you can check Any Build and Grow. Then you can subscribe if you want. Thank you a lot. And then I hope you have a peaceful Thursday evening. So hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.